important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.
You're only supposed to be 60 or 70 years old. Normal people get a partially calcified pineal gland, just partially. So if you're 30 years old, you can see sodium fluoride has been proven. David Wilcox talks a lot about this if you look up his stuff on fluoride in the pineal gland. It's very basic. How do you unload the fluoride? Fulvic, humic, and ulmic acids. Magnesium sulfate. They're dissolvers. You get it in Shilajit. You can get it in some concentrates that we have. This is a super concentrate. It's about a 1.9 pH. It's a little dangerous to use though because you got to be careful with it. Because, whoa, will this unload you? What I usually do is I put this in double-aught caps, vegetable caps, and I load them up because you don't want this stuff to touch your tongue or your teeth too much or anything because it's so strong it eats up, you know, most people have fillings and it takes the plastic out of your fillings. If you have composites or mercury, it shines them right up and makes them off-gas more. So you don't use any of these dissolving agents unless you clean your mouth up. That's why most people say, how do I get this stuff out of my body? How about first quit putting it in and get rid of this? All the jewelry got to go. And if you want to wear any jewelry that's metal, then you have to put some type of a backing on it, like leather or something, to make it so it will not touch your skin. You want to wear a piece of copper, then put something behind it so it won't touch you. Once it touches you, it's shorting you out. And if this was good for you, remember, what is gold, platinum, and silver for? If you look it up in the Egyptian, a lot of their writings, Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian, only fools wear gold. They smoke it, drink it. They feed it to plants. So the plants make it into a plant gold. And you can do this very simply. You can buy an OVO generator that makes gold, 250 milligrams. It's about a $250 machine. Yeah, and what you do is you don't even drink it yourself because it's not so good. You're better off to give it to the plants, tomato plants. All the plants that you eat, the fruit of thy womb, will regenerate you. This is where a lot of women back in the old days used to take their menses, instead of throwing it down the toilet, which is stupid, okay, put it in some clean water, it has no chlorine, mix it up, and feed it to your plants, witch. And all the guys will really like you because you've just transferred your DNA to them and they'll love you. You don't have to have sex with them, you don't have to get nothing. All you got to do is, honey bun, I need $1,000. Okay. Whatever you need. Okay? There's no manipulation. It's called being a witch. And if you're a warlock or a wizard, then you'd go ahead and say, don't worry, I know how to do the same thing. I can take my blood out too. I don't need to have me bleed. Okay? And you can feed it to the plants. I've done this many times. Yeah. So and then you feed your own tomato plants, all your own plants. You feed your own DNA to your own self. You don't need to worry about everybody else. It's for you. It's your DNA. If you wanted to feed your DNA to animals, hey, Robert holds a rattlesnake, a Southern Pacific rattlesnake. Look that up. Dr. Cassar holds a rattlesnake. Was I petting the rattlesnake today on the back of his head? Yeah. Look. Okay, I'm petting him on the back of his head in his cage. Hey, brother, how you doing? And if this guy bites me, he's not a regular rattlesnake. He'll kill me. He's got a super twin venom, brown recluse and a scorpion venom, very high powerful. And if the systemic venom won't kill me, I'll lose my arm. He'll cut it off. Okay? Why would I touch this thing? Any electricians here? Why do you touch electricity? Any other people here playing with death every day? So for some reason, it's not because you're playing with it. It's because you respect it. And there's, yeah, so once things get a chance to know you, there's no, you know, look, have you ever seen that guy, the crocodile whisperer, who's playing with that? Look that up, crocodile whisperer. I put it on Facebook. Anybody seen that one? Oh, this is incredible. This guy found this crocodile that someone shot 17 feet. That's from the wall to here. Have you seen that one? Anybody? And you look it up, and this guy has an act every day over in Honduras that people pay him to play with this 17-foot crocodile with his head. And this is a wild crocodile, like me with this wild. He says, did you catch that thing? Is it defanged? No, I caught him in the mountains, man. He rattled for 3 days when I got him. And so the crocodile, what he does is he plays with them. He swims with them and such and such. Now, I don't know if anybody else would try. So this is a you know, if you take care of anything, no matter what it is, love does rule. It does. So when you really look at this whole thing, it all boils down to really making your body vibrate to the highest tune, which is just love. And then everything that lives inside you won't hurt you because there's no reason to it. All it does is live with you. It has it's like living in a temple. You don't kill in a temple, do you? So once the body becomes this temple of a vibration, then everything and everything within you, and of course everything outside of you, most of the time you'll have to leave the city maybe because of the insanity you see everywhere. And you'll have to go maybe to another place. That's why I love going to the Big Island myself. I like going to a place that's got a lot of virgin, clean energy. It's very growing for your new DNA. Yeah, over here it's very stifling because of all the electrical magnetics. So, anybody else that has any quick? No, Robin's giving me the eye.
Are you still doing for your skin stuff? You had a mixture of certain alcohols, and we were at the best weekend ever. And then you had acidic and alkaline.
Yeah, you use two different ones. You have A and B. The A is you take a big bottle of Absolute vodka. I don't use the Sky vodka because the bottle is blue, and I ask the company what's the blue, and usually blue is either made out of cobalt or possibly mercury.
I remember that.
Okay, yeah, and then plus when I use it too, if you taste this vodka versus the one that maybe would be in a clear bottle, this is perverted. It's got whatever's in the bottle changing its flavor, so whatever's coming out of it. So what I do is I make 2 tablespoons of sodium bicarbonate, aluminum free. I put in like 50 drops of orthosilicic acid, which is a pre-digested silicon, which is just crystal, to give it lubricity.
I'm sorry, say that one.
Orthosilicic acid, or just, we'll have some coming up. The company I used to get it from was Jarrow Formulas. It was a company called BioSil, but they actually lost their exclusivity. Now they sell it to a makeup company, and it's very expensive because they put it in makeup because it's good for your skin. It's pre-digested rock is what it is. It's silicon. So what you can do, the same thing, is go to the creek, get a bunch of bamboo, and stick all the bamboo leaves in your alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and the silica comes out of there. So then that's the alkaline solution.
Okay.
And then what I usually do is put in a tablespoon to even up to 2 tablespoons of the Soleil salt. And if you don't know how to make Soleil salt, just put up Soleil Therapy. Look that up on the computer and you'll see how to do that. It's very simple. I use the coarse ground stuff here because, or we have big stones that big too you can use. Then the acid solution, what I use is I take 300 drops of this 1.9 pH. And this stuff is really strong. You can do it with this, or actually works good too is this company called Adya. It's magnesium sulfate. Do you have that stuff here?
Yeah, I'm going to be getting it.
Okay.
What's the company called?
It's called Adya. Adya? Yeah, that's magnesium sulfate. That works good, but what I really like to use is the fulvic. It's a little stronger for getting away. A lot of the pores are really like stuck. So I try to alternate back and forth. So one bottle, what I'll do is I'll put 300 drops of that in. I'll still put in about a half a teaspoon or a teaspoon of salt because the salt is a sodium, so it's like a disinfectant at the same time. Then I'll put in about 100 drops in the acid because it's orthosilicic acid. And on the alkaline solution, I don't want to change the acid solution, the alkaline solution too much. So if I put in a lot of acid in that, it'll not give me the high level of pH. I like to really put in about 100 drops too of an alkalizer. You know what's really good is your sodium bicarbonate salts are really good to put in the alcohol. because you get all the potassium, magnesium, sodium, and calcium salts. What do you put mostly in? Magnesium, potassium last, sodium second?
97% magnesium.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and then what you do is you alternate.
Yeah, exactly. You said do one of them.
Yeah, and you put it on like, you know, like very liberal. Let it soak in. And what you want to do is get in the sun. Take your clothes off. Get heated up first before you even put on anything. So you open up your pores so that it'll accept. Because when your pores are under the sun, or if you don't have the sun, what you do is you take your clothes off and you make yourself a big, huge fire. Sylvia, remember that? That works beautiful. You slow roast yourself like a chicken. You get as close as you can get to the fire. It's the cheapest way for you to get a far infrared heater. All these other ones are cool. You can buy them and stuff. I mean, I've bought them now, but in the beginning, what did we use? Fireplace. Willow wood is the hottest wood, and you get as close as you can with your clothes off, and you crouch down, and you just slow turn like a chicken and you don't get out of there until you start sweating. And then you start to clean yourself, and you scrub everything. Yeah, and then what I do is after that, then you take this coconut oil and you rub it in, so you put it on so it disappears. And then I use also magnesium chloride, very important, every day. Get your magnesium. You don't have to go ahead and actually take it in your body through the mouth. I put it on the skin every day when I get out of the shower. It burns. Gives you like a jump for your money. Yeah, and you rub it in. That stuff only works when you rub it. Just put it on like this, it doesn't go in. If you read the real clinicals on it, you got to rub it until your hand starts getting sticky. And you want a friction. You put it in your hands, and you go like this, and you make friction really fast. Then you rub it in. Because your hands are electrons, positive, negative poles, each finger's, you know, to such and such. And what you're trying to do is excite the electrons so they can actually go inside you, diffusion. Yeah.
Great. No, thank you.
Do you use castor oil at all?
No, I haven't used that. No, that was one of the things that I sort of shied away because Mama used to throw that stuff down my throat. You need some of this. Watched it on the Little Rascals or something. Yeah, no, I've never really played with castor oil too much. But
I'll share later. I've had some really powerful healings using castor oil in a lot of different ways.
with heat packs.
Liver stones?
Yeah, but even putting it on the skin or putting it on externally.
Does castor oil does that come from the castor bean?
Yes.
The castor bean of a plant? Because castor beans, if you eat them, they're very powerful, potent poisons. And so that's why a lot of people that put them on the liver and stuff is because you're pushing out a bunch of Phaseolopsis busca. If you ever look at Hilda Clark's books, you have any of her stuff here? She's got a couple thick books. She's got a lot of valid information there. A lot of it's sort of weird, but I mean,
Can do a lot because it cook gallbladder, liver, and
yeah.
even a small intestine.
Yeah, and probably if you're, looking at it on my side, I like to try to amp things up. I'd put a little DMSO in with the oil to shove it in there even deeper with a little bit of heat. Yeah, no, I haven't really thought about that, but that's another piece of the arsenal.
We have one last question, and then